showdown between Puerto Rico and Argentina. It's the FIBA Basketball World Cup America's qualifier, and here in Group E, it's USA taking on Panama, Puerto Rico against Argentina, and Mexico going up against Uruguay. And of course, what these Puerto Ricans will be thinking about as well, not only this game, but also their next game against Uruguay, because that is likely the game that's going to decide their fate, the fate of those two teams, whether or not they go on to the World Cup. So Argentina have already qualified, you can see, as well as the USA. And Puerto Rico, they sold this game out in about 15 minutes. Everybody understands the importance of this game and the situation really overall for Argentina, how difficult of a situation. Their backs are against the wall. Even if they were to fall tonight, in fact, they could still win against Uruguay in the next game and win by 3 and clinch a spot in the World Cup. But they want to play well tonight, and they want to get the win. Uruguay won that first game against Puerto Rico by 2 points. And in terms of Argentina, Puerto Rico, their opponent tonight, Argentina really laid the wood to Puerto Rico back on September 17th, 106-84. That game was in Formosa. So Puerto Rico, at bare minimum, want to get one over on their old rivals, and they want to come out and put on a show in front of the fans. And they also want to play hard for Coach Eddie Casiano, who former Puerto Rico player himself, who wore that shirt with a lot of pride. I expect a good game tonight. We're going to have a pause in the commentary for the playing of the national anthems.
Y para el himno de Puerto Rico hemos traído al gran Oscar Serrano, mejor conocido como Oscarito.
La tierra de Borinquen, donde he nacido yo, es un jardín florido de mágico primor, un cielo siempre nítido le sirve de dosel y dan arrullos plácidos las olas a sus pies cuando a sus playas llegó Colón. Exclamó lleno de admiración. Esta es la linda tierra que busco
Well, that was a moment to make the hair on the back of your neck stand up, if I do say so myself. In fact, both of them. These two wonderful countries have had such a long and rich tradition in basketball and international basketball, and I really have a lot of respect for the coaches and so many of the players that have come through these programs. And it's good to see them squaring off. And, you know, everybody can't make it to the World Cup, and maybe this will not be the year for Puerto Rico to make it. But then again, maybe this will be the year. Maybe they'll put together a couple of magical performances, especially the one they really need against Uruguay in the next game. Anyway, the referees for tonight's game, Michael Scott and Matthew Callio from Canada, and Felipe Ibarra from, I think that was the Dominican Republic. Argentina, Cafaro, Mata, Brasino, Delia, Pinheiro, Chapman, Fagiano, Redivo, Aguirre, Acuna, Saith, and Aguirre. I think the coach is wrong there. That's Sergio, should be Sergio Hernandez. Marcos Mata, Nicolas Brasino, Marcos Delia, Javier Saiz, and Nicolas Aguirre will be in that starting five. Aguirre just played for San Lorenzo, the three-time defending Argentina champions in the FIBA Intercontinental Cup in Rio de Janeiro, so he's been a busy man of late. For Puerto Rico, Ramon Clemente, Eduardo Gonzalez, Devin Collier, Gary Brown, John Holland, Ricky Sanchez, Jorge Brian Diaz, Carlos Lopez, Gian Clavel, Carlos Rivera, David Huertas, and Javier Mojica, the veteran, playing for Coach Omar, well, playing for Eddie Casiano, but the coach is, one of the coaches is Omar Gonzalez. So for the starting five, Gary Brown for Puerto Rico, John Holland, Ricky Sanchez, Jorge Brian Diaz, and David Huertas. And no, that is Sergio Hernandez, who's the coach, not his assistant. You're seeing the name of his assistant, one of his assistants, Maximiliano Segerman, but that's Sergio Hernandez, and this is Eddie Casiano. So not Omar Gonzalez, one of his assistants. By the way, Omar Gonzalez is a fantastic coach. Saw him coach last year at the under-19s, excuse me, under-17s in Argentina, in fact, in Santa Fe. I've really got a lot of time for this guy. I mean, he's like one of the nicest, but also he comes from this great tradition of coaches in Argentina, and easily one of the all-time greats of South American coaching, in my opinion. Really on the international level, his first huge tournament was the 2006 FIBA Basketball World Cup in Japan. And just think what would have happened had Andres Nocioni hit a three-pointer from the corner at the buzzer in that game. They would have beaten Spain, and then they would have faced Greece in the final. But because Nocioni missed that, Argentina faced the USA in the third-place game and ended up losing that one. So they've gone on to win medals, obviously, under Hernandez. and play well in a lot of big tournaments. But it's interesting how things unfold. Well, good evening, folks, and welcome to San Juan, Puerto Rico for the FIBA Basketball World Cup America's qualifier between Puerto Rico in white and Argentina in the dark uniforms. And it was Nicolas Aguirre chasing down that ball. All these Argentinians, Brasino hustling down and missing with his first attempt. Of course, Brasino made a lot of headlines in his days with Peñarol, but also when he made it in the NBA for a while with Dallas. Now he's playing in Spain, and he goes down for the dunk. Not a good start for Puerto Rico. Brasino currently plays, in fact, in Spain with Iberostar Tenerife. Foul called on Marcos Mata. So here's Puerto Rico attacking. Huertas puts one up from deep. Now Aguirre. Bounce pass. Saif misses. Chance for Sergio Hernandez to get a look at some of his other players, see if they might be able to help him at the World Cup. Argentina going to be a top seed at the draw in March in all likelihood. It's the top-ranked 7 teams and China that qualify for the World Cup. The top-ranked teams in the FIBA Basketball World Rankings, or the FIBA ranking presented by Nike. The turnover puts the ball back over to Puerto Rico. And another miss by Huertas. And the ball turned over into the hands of John Holland. Now Brown, Gary Brown decides to take it back out. Now he's going to go in and might have hesitated a little bit too much to put his shot up, put up a difficult one. But in the end, the ball will remain at this end. Good block by Mata, who, like Aguirre, plays for San Lorenzo. And Mata drills the 3. That's us probing. Puerto Rico looking for their first basket. Holland off target, and D'Elia comes in for the rebound. Now Brasino. Hear the anxiety and the voices of the cheers of the fans, and offensive foul called on Huertas. Tough start for Castellanos Puerto Rico. So he's going to call timeout to talk about this. Castellano, as a player, you might remember he played against Michael Jordan at the Olympics for Puerto Rico, and also famously played for the Puerto Rico team that upset the USA at the 2004 Olympics on the opening day.
están dando espacio. Cuando hay un rodeo, no te quedes. Don't stay. Go to short corner. Attack in a straight lane.
Salvo que veas el aro. ¿Sí? Si lo hace vos. Acá, los grandes, ellos vieron lo que pasó. Ellos corren, si no hay nada, la quieren tener 20 segundos. Los grandes, a medida que pasa el tiempo, suban, prepárense para el green.
Argentina play this game here in San Juan, and then they'll wrap up their America's qualifiers against the USA, a team they beat back on November 29th, 80-63 in La Rioja. They will face the USA on February 25th, that's Monday, in Greensboro, the famous Greensboro, where they had so many Greensboro, or rather the Greensboro Coliseum, so many basketball tournaments like the ACC tournaments. I think the old Carolina Cougars used to play there. And a good block down low by Ricky Sanchez. Gary Brown hits the three-pointer, and finally, nearly 4 minutes into the game, Puerto Rico have their first bucket. If they only score a bucket every 4 minutes, it's not going to be a very big score. Don't think that's going to happen. Over to Mata. Boy, he is automatic, isn't he? I mean, you've got Brasino on the court, and yet you've got Mata, and when he gets into his rhythm, he's about as good as they come. In terms of his three-point shooting. Brown again, that was short. It's always kind of deflating when you make a play, you get a three-pointer, and then the other team goes right back and hits a three-pointer themselves. Brasino. Aguirre. Over to Mata on the wing, that time short. Gary Brown now. Lost it, and fortunately for Puerto Rico, Ricky Sanchez was there, but wasn't able to come up with it cleanly. Brasino tied him up, and it's going to be Argentina ball. So very shaky start for Puerto Rico. The Boricuas. Aguirre brings it up the floor. Bounce pass. And stayed in bounds. It goes out of bounds. It'll still be Argentina ball. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Foul called on Nicolas Brasino, who with the Bear Star Tenerife this season has been a really solid player, helping them maintain their status as one of the top teams in Spain, really top 5, top 8, shall we say, and also in the Basketball Champions League, one of the main contenders for the title. Oh, behind the back pass, and the dunk by D'Elia. Boy, Matt is coming out and hooping tonight. And Diaz lays it up and in. Beautiful pass and another dunk for D'Elia. Finally, a confident-looking stroke for Puerto Rico, and it was Ramon Clemente. Aguirre launches his first, and that was short, but the ball fell kindly. Ball fell kindly to Federico Aguirre, but then the ball was thrown out of bounds. So another foul's been called. Brown weaving. Now he's looking. And three-point attempt is off target. And scrapping for the rebound. Aguirre comes away with it. Brown. Huertas, beautiful pass to Diaz, and Puerto Rico clawed the deficit back to 12-10. And now the turnover into the hands of Nicolas Aguirre after Federico Aguirre missed it, and boy, what a finish that was with the left hand. So he gets his first 2 points. Holland gets it down low to Diaz, and Argentina do a good job defending. So some substitutions coming into the game now for both teams. Rivera comes in. Carlos Rivera, number 31. Clavel also comes in, number 24. Also Devin Collier, number 7. D'Elia gets inside, doesn't finish. Rivera back to Holland. Holland puts it up from 3. Puerto Rico close the gap to 1. Argentina try to answer with the long jumper from Lucio Redivo. And driving in, they're going to count it for Holland. Puerto Rico have taken the lead. And he'll also go to the line for a potential three-point play. Holland sinks it. Redivo trapped by Rivera and turns it over. And now the backcourt foul on Fagiano. John Holland has got a couple of seconds for the end of the quarter. Clemente, good! Strong finish to the first quarter for Puerto Rico. Took them nearly 4 minutes to get their first basket, but they race ahead. They lead it 19-14 over Argentina. So the first quarter stats, 19-14 for Puerto Rico. They've hit 4 3-pointers, and Argentina have hit a couple. So even in the rebounding, very even in that sense. Each team with a block, each team with 5 turnovers. Cassiano will no doubt, more important than anything, will want to see some execution tonight, see some confidence grow ahead of their showdown with Uruguay. And the way they responded to a little bit of adversity there in that first quarter, well, perhaps that bodes well for Puerto Rico. Second quarter action underway here in San Juan. Piñero gets it over to, the block. Great Boricua defense as Federico Aguirre was getting ready to shoot it. The swats came out. Javier Mojica in the game wearing the white headband. So Mojica picks up his first foul. Now the Three-point attempt. No good. Cunha tries to get it for Argentina. Cunha played for Argentina at the Olympics in Rio. Kind of been in and out of the national team. And now Lucio Redivo picks up the foul in the backcourt.
Segunda falta personal del número 25, Lucio Redivo.
There it brings it across midcourt. Kind of lost control of it, but the ball bounced kindly to his teammate, Clavel. Here's Clavel from the left. It's good. He definitely does take that shot with confidence. He's got some swag to him, doesn't he?
Primera falta personal del número 35, Roberto Acuña. Hay cambio por
So
el
Acuna picks up the foul and turns it back over to Puerto Rico. Vera goes back to the bench now. This was Clavel with his last three. And into the game for Puerto Rico's Eduardo Gonzalez. Turn it back over, back to Argentina, who are down 8 points right now. And Mojica is going to inbound it. I don't expect Puerto Rico to blow Argentina out tonight, but if they were to get a decisive win, especially after their slow start, that would put them in good frame of mind. And now a push and an unsportsmanlike foul has been called on Gonzalez for an unnecessary two-handed shove, and that was a good call. I mean, the referee, well, I think one referee looked like he wasn't going to call it, but then the other one said, you know what, that is unnecessary. Watch this. Oh, maybe we'll see it. Fagiano makes the first. I'm not even sure a foul was going to be called. But anyway, the unsportsmanlike was called. And that was a bad mistake. You can't talk your way out of it, Gonzalez. I mean, it was right in front of the referee. It's a two-handed shove. So not only do you give up the 2 free throws, but you lose possession. And turns into a 4-point swing for Argentina as Redivo takes it in for a layup. Oh, Gonzalez saw a little shake and bake. How about that? So he gets 2 of them back. They got such an amazing history with guards, don't they? Puerto Rico. And the follow is good from Acuna. Mojica gets it over to Clavel. Clavel launches a long 3. And Gonzalez had already, Clavel had already gone into the backcourt, and Gonzalez batted it out in his direction, and he wasn't able to get back in time. So it was an over and back violation. And Hernandez decides he wants to call timeout. Try to turn this thing around.
Sino Revivo se juntan acá. Saca Voluca, ¿sí? Con Roberto, con Roberto. Vas con el balón y vas a buscar la bola. ¿Sí?
See the top scorers.
Roberto, vas a hacer
You know,
el que toque acá.
you talk about Argentina, and really it's a team that
Lo que van a hacer ustedes
has had an interesting time of it for the last 15 years, or the last 17 years. Runners-up at the 2002 FIBA Basketball World Cup. Actually almost won that one, but lost it to Yugoslavia in overtime. Then they won the gold medal at the Olympics in 2004, so that was Ginobili, Oberto, Scola, Nocioni. So many of those players that would hang on and stay with the program. They might not have played every year, but they stayed with the program. And even Scola is still with the program. He's not here with in this game, but he's been playing in the qualifiers. Carlos Delfino. But they've been kind of in a period of transition for the past several years, and the golden generation, kind of the goodbye for Ginobili and Nocioni, the official goodbye, or the goodbye, was in 2016 to Rio de Janeiro. And you know, everybody's wondering, well, what's going to happen with Argentina? And they do have other great players that aren't here right now. And who knows, maybe Argentina will be a surprise package at the World Cup. With Facundo Campazzo, for example, playing, and Scola playing. These qualifiers have been good experience for Argentina, getting their young guys a lot of experience. And they've still got some other veterans, players like Mata that might end up figuring in the squad. You know, that's up for Coach Hernandez to decide. Redivo, he misses from deep. You would expect Redivo to be in that team in China. Also, Gabriel Deck, now with Real Madrid. Collier, back over to Gonzalez. And Gonzalez lost control of it. And in for the dunk. There's Roberto Acuna, and it's back to a two-point game now. Puerto Rico quickly to the other end, Mojica. And just like that, Argentina can tie it or take the lead with a three. Brasino, his pass to the corner. And the three-pointer from Fagiano puts Argentina, in fact, they're saying it was a 2, so ties it at 24. Collier takes a little bit of contact, puts it up and in. Brasino. Now Gonzalez, and Mojica pulls up and drills it. Back to a 4-point lead. So Gonzalez picks up a foul. Cunha comes out of the game for Argentina. John Holland comes back in. Ricky Sanchez, Diaz, Rivero for Puerto Rico. So wholesale changes. Rivera, excuse me. Carlos Rivera. Clavel still out there. And now the turnover. Not sure how that happened. Holland. Sanchez. Devo to D'Elia. Diaz commits the foul. Sanchez takes a seat. Clemente comes back in. Jorge Diaz, number 12 there, played his college basketball for Nebraska. Actually was born in the Bronx. A lot of Puerto Rican players actually have their heritage in Puerto Rico, but they were born in the U.S. and especially New York. He makes that one. 28-25. Cassiano himself was born in Manhattan, New York. Clavel, beautiful finish. Really got a nice game, doesn't he? Smooth. Racino passes it to the right, and Chapman misses. It's 30-25. Holland drives. Here's Brasino. Mata going up against John Holland. And Rivera drills a three. Good defense and almost another steal. D'Elia. Cassiano, beautiful bounce pass note. Holland reached in and knocked it out of bounds. No look, and Racino had an opportunity. Couldn't convert it. Not sure Sergio Hernandez was too enamored with that attempt. And he's going to call timeout.
Ramon, you here? Hey, ball here, opposite side drops. Hey, en un ángulo más abajo. Si da damos la bola en el medio, nos vamos. Tú la tienes aquí, Jorge la saca. Si presean, bola aquí, middle. If we give it back, you come back and you go, boy. Keep the fucking defense. Hey, motion down. Wait for the fucking pick on down.
Jugando en el perímetro como pasador o atacando y pasando en Holland. Cuando Holland ataca, pinta y voy con mi tirador, porque él siempre va a pasar. ¿Está claro?
Is Acuña's dunk. So Clavel brings it up. Puerto Rico's biggest lead tonight. 8 points. Argentina led by 7. Almost a hold there. Diaz has it and fumbles it away, although he was under pressure. Fagiano passes to the corner. Fagiano's got a nice game, doesn't he? Here he is. Brasino. And the follow by Mata. Oh, good block, good defense. Good hustle by Mata, but not able to save it in bounds. Mata's 8 points leads Argentina. The ball goes out of bounds and back over to Argentina. So now another timeout has been called.
Algunos saben de jugadas y otros de beneficios, así que te invito para que disfrutes de este juego auspiciado por Humana. De la música, DJ Joaquín Odio desde Magic 97.3.
¿Ricky con un grande o Ricky de grande? Si Ricky va de 4, lo que jugamos es 1 para que el hombre de Ricky sea el de mano en mano, porque no lo va a defender a él. ¿Sí? Cuando venimos al mano, backdoor, el hombre de Ricky no juega.
Every pick and roll, everything. Contain your man in front of you. Hey, if you were the big guy and there's a shot, box him up, all 5 to the rebound. Hey, fist up, and I want Ricky here. Hey, defense.
Ahora el equipo de Puerto Rico entra el número 9, Gary Brown.
So back to live action. Argentina with Fagiano bringing it up. And then he walked, he was going to pass it, and then he held on to it. And Hernandez, it's like, is that why we called the timeout? And now Sanchez returns the favor, throws it right out of bounds. Fagiano again brings it up for Argentina. Just less time on the clock now. Ray Brown guarding him. D'Elia posting up. Going up against Holland. No, he's going to whip it back out. And they get it to Fagiano. He fumbles it. Has to put it up. Final shot possibly for Puerto Rico. No, Brown, he slips down. And then a little runner right at the end by Argentina's Carlos Chapman. Wow. Both teams struggling to execute, but on the final slip by Brown, it led to a fast break basket by Chapman. 33-27, Puerto Rico lead it over Argentina at halftime. Argentina much better inside the arc, but Puerto Rico, you can see, have the advantage from three-point range, 6 of 14. And also Puerto Rico doing a pretty good job on the boards, out rebounding Argentina 21-15. The problem for Puerto Rico has been their turnover rate. One problem anyway, including that last one that you saw. They've got 13 turnovers, and that has led to 14 points for Argentina. So the points being spread out for both teams. Mata has a game-high 8. And we are at halftime, so I'm going to let you watch some highlights, and we'll be right back for the start of the second half for this America's qualifier. We'll be right back.
se atreve a donkear. Se atreve a donkear. Eso es de Gay. Vamos a ver qué dice el público. ¿Cuánto dicen que donkea? 3, 2, 1. Vamos a ver a Floppy. Que va para el donkeo, no es seguro obligatorio. Charlatán. Vamos a ver al bonito que está celebrando 49 años en Puerto Rico, ahora en el 2019, el cono y su aplicación de el cono. Vamos a ver tu gol. 3, 2, 1. Ahí ve Conito. Y dos leñas que tengo aquí invitado. Vamos a ver al único. Párense al frente. Párense ahí. Van a enseñar cómo es que se brinca por encima de las mascotas. Porque siempre hay uno que es el que tienes que escoger a la hora de renovar tu malvete. Y ese es el seguro obligatorio de la cooperativa de seguros múltiples de Puerto Rico. Así que vamos, 5, 4 y todo el mundo con las manos. ¡Pa! 3, 2, 1. Ahí va, por encima ahí. Oye, con la boca es fácil, pero Jay lo logró. Así que fuerte el aplauso para Jay. Y recuerden que usted haga su plata con nuestros amigos de la lotería electrónica, lotería tradicional, porque usted puede ser el próximo que se pegue. Venga dinerito para compartir con toda la familia, los seres queridos. Juega, que la suerte te está buscando y recuerden que a la hora que usted quiere renovar su malvete, márcalo, fírmalo y asegúralo con el seguro obligatorio de la cooperativa de seguros múltiples de Puerto Rico. El que tienes que escoger. Te presenta en la música. Y fuerte el aplauso a los pleneros que están ahí con el sabor. Plena son. Que están ahí de rumba. Y nuestro amigo Joaquín Mopio. Directamente desde Magic 97.3. ¡Eso! ¿Y dónde están los boricuas con la mano arriba? A ti nada más, te quiero a ti nada más. A ti nada música. Ahora lo veo directamente del Magic 97.3 a DJ Joaquín Ofio. Seguimos para el calentamiento del equipo de Puerto Rico y Argentina.
(33-29), Puerto Rico on top of Argentina. And San Juan, look at that huge Puerto Rican flag here in San Juan in the Roberto Clemente Coliseum. Roberto Clemente, the legendary baseball player, hailed from this country. Died tragically while on an aid mission to Nicaragua, but was clearly hugely loved and admired here. Anyway, they've got his name on this stadium. It's quite an honor for his memory and his family. Anyway, they want to get a win tonight against Argentina to try to build some momentum before the game coming up against Uruguay, which is likely going to be the decider about which team goes to the playoffs, or rather to the World Cup.
Hand off and I go. Y viene directo. Rivea and get him. Punch. Voy de nuevo. 2, 3. We practice this. 4. Point guard. Punch. La doy. Voy completo. Me coto. Hey, one defensa. Remember. Move and shift with the ball from side to side. Ball here.
Second half action now underway here in San Juan, Puerto Rico, up 33-29 on Argentina. Gary Brown gets in the lane, and Puerto Rico get it back. Now Huertas. And nice little floater there by Diaz. Like his Cornhusker days.
Segunda falta personal del número 9, Gary Brown.
Brown picks up personal. Aguirre rather. Aguirre gets the rebound, tried to score with the putback, and takes it back out. And Mata called for a foul. The block.
Segunda falta personal del número 6, Marcos Mata.
And nice finish from Huertas.
Primera falta personal del número 20, Carlos Chapman. En la línea del tiro libre con el número 33, David Huertas.
Basket is good. Aguirre with Argentina now trailing by 9. Chapman getting a start here after his impressive show at the end of the first half. Aguirre reaches in, almost forces the turnover. Huertas from deep. Sanchez with the rebound. Brown whips it over to Huertas. Puts up a little push shot.
Segunda falta personal del número 20, Carlos Chapman. En la línea del tiro libre con el número 33.
Well, not so much a push shot, but kind of a floater. And here he is scoring with that free throw and pushing the lead now to 10, which is the biggest of the game for Puerto Rico. So they've had a good start here to the second half. Chapman off the back of the iron. Aguirre gets it back, hands it off to Chapman, bounce pass to D'Elia, pump fake, and Sanchez just took it away from him. And then that started to break. And Huertas raced ahead and scored with a layup. 13 points now, the advantage for Puerto Rico. The Boricuas have got the wind in their sails.
Tenemos que encontrar otra manera de anotar, muchachos. Porque cada vez que la bola va adentro es tapa. Y cada vez que queremos sacar una bola al tirador, no lo encontramos con ventaja. Porque ellos hacen esto y vuelven. Si atacamos el aro, a veces hay que terminar anotando en bandeja, muchachos.
Caminata del pendejo, caminata del pendejo. No va a ser cortina. I'm gonna dribble. Va a hacer un fake a la cortina. You going up a little. Let's not get lazy. Backdoor come back. Aquí es un slip, cortina, cortina. Drivea hasta acá. Para que entonces esta cortina viene, ¡pum! Se va y Ricky abre.
Escúchame, David.
He's going up. So really, he's going, and it's a slip so we can get this pick. Keep it up. Got it?
That was a steal that Sanchez just took it away, hit it away from D'Elia, and then passed it up to Huertas. And Argentina decided to call a timeout. Chapman kind of fumbled the ball, got it back. Beautiful bounce pass by Chapman to D'Elia. Intriguing player, Chapman, I have to say. Didn't know much about him before tonight's game. First time, in fact, he's played for Argentina's senior team in the qualifiers. And D'Elia, another dunk. So that's 4 quick points coming out of the timeout. It's not as much as Hernandez lighting a fire under his team, but just kind of reorganizing him a little bit.
De Puerto Rico entra el número 1, Ramón Clemente.
Good finish from Diaz. Pinheiro gives it to Chapman. And Mata has it knocked away. Gary Brown, former West Virginia Mountaineer, Puerto Rican born. Puts it up from deep. And foul called on the rebound on Facundo Pinheiro.
Segunda falta personal del número 18, Facundo Pinheiro. Hay cambio para el equipo de Argentina en el número 9, Nicolás Brusino.
So Chapman goes out.
Y el número 27, Federico Aguirre. En la línea del tiro libre con el número 1, Ramón Clemente.
And Ramon Clemente goes to the line. First one is short. Second one is good. Nothing but nylon. Brusino back in. And good job almost forcing the turnover Puerto Rico. In fact, they do. And the pass up to Brown. And not for the first time, they get ahead on the break after the turnover. And gambling a little bit again. Clemente, but Aguirre comes up with it and strokes the three. Aguirre stands his ground. Diaz drifts in, and the follow by Huertas. I think they're going to give the basket to Huertas, then quickly to the other end. Redivo over to Brasino for the three. And all of a sudden, the points are being poured in for both teams. Brown gets to the rim. Redivo, wow, another three for Argentina. That's three in a row, one by Aguirre, one by Brasino, and now one by Redivo. And it's a 9-point game in favor of Puerto Rico. Clemente turns, banks it in. Brasino bumped by Holland. Good minutes by Brown. He goes out, and Rivera comes back in. Oh, explosive move by Redivo. Ends up going to his left hand and scoring with that reverse layup. Holland.
Primera falta personal del número 77, Gustavo Aguirre. En la línea del tiro libre, con el número 10, John Holland.
So Holland goes to the line. He's only got 6 points tonight, but he's played pretty well. Second one is good. So 2 free throws. He's got 8 points. And Puerto Rico have an 11-point lead. Aguirre for three. Huertas for three. This is everything. Brasino's pass down low. Intended for Saiz, goes out of bounds. 2 minutes and 47 seconds to go in the third. Can Puerto Rico turn this up a notch with Clavel coming back into the game? Rivera zips the pass down low to Diaz. Bounce pass back to Diaz. And Brasino saves it in bounds. He's going to bring it up. Redivo again for three. Boy, he is an out-and-out scorer, isn't he? 10 points now for Redivo. He's starting to pick up the pace. Clavel, twisting, turning.
Hay cambio con el equipo de Puerto Rico. Entra el número 44, Javier Mojica. Con el equipo de Puerto Rico entra el número 7, Devon Collier. Segunda falta personal del número 44, Javier Mojica.
Oh, beautiful drive and finish by Redivo. It's almost as if Hernandez has said, okay, Redivo, it's like he's taken the leash off and let him just go after Puerto Rico. He's got 12 points now. Clavel. Mojica drills it. Now Brasino. And a push and a foul called on Mojica.
Tercera falta personal del número 44, Javier Mojica.
This time Redivo had it knocked out of his hands, but fortunately for Argentina, Saiz came up with it and was fouled.
Primera falta personal del número 1, Ramón Clemente. En la línea del tiro libre con el número
If Argentina do not win, could be that they will be knocked off the perch of Group E, because the USA are leading 73-61 over Panama late in the third quarter in Greensboro. And now the foul by Brasino puts Rivera on the line.
Segunda falta personal del número 9, Nicolás Brusino. En la línea del tiro libre con el número 31, Carlos Rivera.
So Rivera misses the first one. I wonder if we're going to see Eduardo Gonzalez again. He had his interesting moments in the first half. Puerto Rico done a decent job at the line tonight, 8 of 10. Argentina 5 of 6. Brasino has it, goes behind his back, hangs in the air. Boy, that was beautiful.
Nicolás Brusino.
Diva going for the steal. Clavel punishes him with a 3. Been impressed by Clavel. Final seconds ticking off the clock in the third quarter. Brasino going at Collier. Has to launch it from a long way out. And that's how it finishes. And look at Clavel, he's enjoying the moment. Puerto Rico lead at 61-53, 10 minutes to go.
World Cup is right here. You want it? Come and get it.
Equipo nacional de Puerto Rico. Bueno, los que van de media cancha vengan para acá. Hay una combinación de adultos con niños que vengan para acá.
So 3 quarters in, Puerto Rico with 7 threes. Now Argentina have 6. They were heating up in that quarter. And numbers pretty similar as well inside the arc. Diaz now with 10 points leads Puerto Rico. The only player that's played tonight for Puerto Rico that hasn't scored is Ricky Sanchez. He's 0 for 3. And as you look at these replays, Gary Brown, he's got 7 points. Devo's now got a team high 12 points, a game high 12 points for Argentina. He's 2 of 4 from deep, and we've seen him put the ball on the deck and get to the basket. Dalia has 9, Marcos Mata has 8. So Puerto Rico are going to be defending here in this first possession. Argentina inbounded. The fourth quarter is underway. Redivo, he has got the bit between the teeth, doesn't he? 14 points now for him. Collier turns and scores. Nice pump fake. Brasino. Good rebound by Acuna. And the foul. Well, Mexico didn't want to come out, but he will. Devo with the shot clock about to expire had to launch it, got the rim. And here comes Aguirre over to Brasino for the two-handed dunk.
Hay cambio para el equipo de Puerto Rico, entra el número 9, Gary Brown.
$16 points for Argentina, all turnovers. Excuse me, 11. And those are the turnover numbers there. Brown. Shaking and baking. Oh, goodness me. Something tells me we're going to look at that on the highlight reel. Brasino takes the bump. Look at that. And Hernandez can't believe a foul wasn't called. I can't believe he made the shot after the contact. Holland puts it up from 3. It's good. Hernandez still talking about that non-call. One of the plays of the game, really, from Brasino taking the contact. Kind of waiting for the whistle. It wasn't blown, and he still made the shot. Collier goes out, and Ricky Sanchez comes back in. Here's Redivo again. This time too long. Now Brown. It's like he likes to get down, doesn't he? Sure, he's heard downtown Gary Brown many times. And Nicolas Aguirre kicks the ball. It's not allowed. He goes out. And Fagiano comes back into the game. Clavel, oh, he's got deceptive explosiveness. He was up there floating, and now the lead is 11. 10 points for him. He's been a very nice player tonight. Look at this. He's got some hops. It's 21 to go. Devo this time hit the rim softly, but just kind of curled out. And look at Brown, a little bit of showtime. Hands it off. Oh, goodness me, we got an entertainer on our hands. Look at him. There he goes again. I think they're spoiled for choice with really creative point guards in Puerto Rico. Look at this. He gets rid of it just in time. The only thing he was missing was the finishing touch. Everything else looked great. Scythe drives in and banks it in. Fagiano reaches up, says he committed the foul. So Fagiano, that's his third foul. Cafaro comes in. First minutes for him tonight. Midway through the fourth quarter, Puerto Rico looking relatively comfortable right now with the lead. Oh. Clavel, look at that. Fist bump with the fans. So Clavel at the line, he's quite the entertainer. And he's good as well. Makes that one. And the second. Now the reach in, and Clavel takes it away. Goes up for the two-handed dunk. He wants to make the most of this one, doesn't he? He wants this Puerto Rican team to travel to Uruguay with a lot of confidence. And really they should. They've been good tonight. Just knew that pass was coming. And he knew where his takeoff point was, and he knew he was going for the dunk. In fact, he knew he was going to dunk it.
Para el equipo de Puerto Rico, en el número 31, Carlos Rivera.
So Gary Brown whistled for a technical foul. Not sure what he said, obviously, but it was not well received by the officiating crew. Brasino goes behind his back. Look at that. Did a great job getting to the line. This thing isn't over. Argentina can pour points in. They can put points on the board quickly. Marcos Mata comes back in. Well, Redivo gave it a good run. Looked like they were going to creep right back into it. But Puerto Rico have pulled back ahead. Still with some work to do. Well, Brasino gets the offensive rebound and put back. Now he's really starting to pour him in. He's got 14 points. So he and Redivo each with 14 points. Redivo's out of the game. Clavel. This is everything that time. Puerto Rico do not need to use all of the shot clock, in case you've noticed. They like to get up and down the floor quickly. Brasino again drives in, banks it in. Showing his quality here late in the fourth quarter. So Puerto Rico called timeout. They lead it by 8 points.
Sometimes it's a big guy goes to handle. Blitz it. You steal that pass. He can handle a ball. Blitz that.
Watch the press. Jorge Saca. Carlos. Gian. Ja. Or here. I dive. Jorge side. Okay? And we fall it straight to motion down. Now. Hey. Same thing. Gian.
El bloque alto, la presión a la bola, la línea de pase, venir a buscar. No tiene que ver con el tiempo de entrenamiento. ¿Lo hago o no lo hago? Vamos que hago arreglo.
Interesting how Omar Gonzalez picked up on the fact that Saiz was a little too comfortable being allowed to dribble the ball. He was like, blitz him. Take it away from him. Not sure what that young man's name is, but he has an ample, shall we say, approach. It's going to be Puerto Rico possession, inbounding it with 4:02 to go. And Holland comes up and is fouled. That's 14 fouls on Argentina. Don't think that was really the plan, was to get the foul, but they did. Holland tries to make the bounce pass. Clavel goes up. Looked like he was trying to get to the line, but referees weren't going to give him that one. Brasino, he's been tough to stop here in the fourth quarter. Picks up his dribble, passes down low to Saez, and he goes up and scores. Impressively, it's back to a 6-point game. Can Puerto Rico close this out? I don't think they want to go to Uruguay on the back of a loss. From a confidence standpoint, they need a win tonight. Brasino pulls up for three. And now a technical has been called because a foul had been called on Cafaro. Watch this, watch Cafaro. Well, maybe there was a nudge there. I think that's what the referee saw. Clavel makes the most of the technical.
Por el equipo de Puerto Rico, el número 11, Ricky Sánchez, y el número 33, David Huerta.
USA blowing out Panama now, 100-80. Pulled away in the fourth quarter. This one, however, still has the result beyond doubt. Even though Puerto Rico are leading, Argentina have it. Quick pass, and Cafaro scores. Now, force the turnover, but then Puerto Rico get it right back. Rivera. And Clavel has it. Looked like Hernandez was thinking there was a foul there after his team had stolen the ball. Look at him. So he's having a go at one of the Canadian referees. He's upset. He wants an explanation why a foul wasn't called. And, well, I guess it would have been a big call. As it is, Clavel goes to the line and makes a free throw for Puerto Rico. He's got a game high 17 points. Brasino has 16. Here's Brasino. short. Sanchez couldn't get it. And Clavel holds it up. Eduardo Gonzalez back in the game, number 6. Here's Clavel. Oh boy, he is just quite the player, isn't he? He has got some serious moxie, Clavel. Look at him. And he loves wearing the Puerto Rico jersey. That is obvious. Kind of reminds me of somebody else that used to play for Puerto Rico named Arroyo. Argentina called timeout. Well, that Puerto Rico game against Uruguay is going to be something, isn't it? If Puerto Rico can play like this. Now look at Clavel, more than a meter, probably 1.5 meters behind the arc. And just no hesitation. He's like, you want to give this to me? I'm going to make it. And then he goes into celebration mode. Minute and a half to go, Argentina down 10. Redivo back in and draws the foul. So he will go to the free throw line. Huertas, I think Redivo was taking exception to the way the foul was committed. So Huertas suggested they look at it on the video assistant referee. Makes the first one. And the second, so it's back to 8. Eduardo Gonzalez called for a charge. Pushing off. It's not over yet. Redivo. Here he goes again. Gets it over to Fagiano, and he scores. And it's all of a sudden a 5-point game.
Algunos saben de jugadas y otros de beneficio. Disfruta este juego.
We can't beat the press dribbling the ball, fellas. ¿Dónde la tenemos? ¿Dónde la tenemos? No te puedo ver eso. La podemos ver, la podemos ver. La podemos ver. Está bien, pues bajamos. Hey, Ramon, take it out. Hey. La saco de abajo, la saco de abajo. Hey.
Del medio, lo primero que buscamos, el que defiende, el que saca, se mete en la cancha, 5 contra 4, no entra el balón. Entra el balón, buena defensa. Cambio.
19 points from turnovers for Argentina, 13 for Puerto Rico. That's kind of ebbed and flowed all night, but just a couple more turnovers recently has allowed Argentina. That was big right there. That's 3 of them. Clavel was flying right at him, but good follow through and concentration. And now they're going to pick him up full court as they try to inbound the basketball. Get it across midcourt. They trap Huertas, and sure enough, they get the steal. Persino over to Redivo. 3-pointer is good. Mata, 2-point game. Puerto Rico looking like they might not be able to close this thing out. You can see how badly Argentina want to win this thing in hostile territory. Tremendous. Subciales, the Argentina Confederation president. Now they get it in to Holland. Over to Rivera. Well, if Argentina get a stop, they could tie it or take the lead, but they got to get a stop. Huertas drives in, and just as the shot clock was winding down, he made his move and got a foul called. Huertas sinks the first. Remember, Puerto Rico, they can lose this game and still qualify for the World Cup, but they have to beat Uruguay. That's the big one. Makes just 1 of 2. Argentina have already qualified for the World Cup. Now the pass, and they get a dunk, and it's a 1-point game. Clemente gets it inside to Clavel, and he almost had a 3-point play opportunity. Great pass by Clemente. If you're Puerto Rico, though, and you're hosting this game, and you're up by double digits, and you're playing in front of a packed house in the Roberto Clemente Coliseum, you got to win. I mean, you can't let a lead slip. And now Clavel is hoping to take it up to a 2-point lead. Would not be surprised if Argentina went for 3. Timeout. Exciting stuff, folks. It shouldn't surprise you, though. These qualifiers, it's all been, look at that. He is as proud as a peach. With a big smile, knowing that his team has come back. He likes how his team has been able to execute the late game strategy.
Obviamente, que si en la búsqueda es gol, jugamos suplementario, sin problema. Simple venga, entramos la bola, nada más. Entramos la bola 2. Entramos la ¿Esto o esto? ¿Qué prefería, sí o así?
8 of 29 from deep for Argentina and 9 of 22 for Puerto Rico.
Vos lo tocás a Nico segunda instancia.
Just throw all that out the window, though. Argentina could definitely hit a 3 to win it. So Puerto Rico up 2, having led by 14 points. Aguirre to Brasino. He takes the 3. Offensive rebound, and a foul has been called on Clavel. And that means Cafaro goes to the line with a chance to tie it. What a moment for him. He's only played just over 5 minutes. But he's got 4 points. Argentina 8 of 11 at the line tonight, 72.73%. This is why you practice them. And takes his time and makes the first. And boy, nothing but 9 line. That is clutch shooting. So they will call timeout. Puerto Rico advance the ball and try to get a game-winning shot here. You think the Argentina coaches are enjoying themselves, having engineered quite a comeback?
You here. So he's going over. You going to the corner. Ramon, you going. You flash. Ball here. We got the back door. Okay? You going over. You got the back door. You go to the rebound. So it could be he received back door or you receive, you go back door. Carlos. Go to the rack. We gonna get the foul, man. Be patient. Go right here. John, he goes over, you make a fake, he comes. Or you got him coming over, and you got him coming over. You can get the layup. Let's go, let's go.
Clavel going with play over in his mind. You can see he's thinking about it. Argentina might go for the steal as well. You never know. They might get it. Attempt the winner for themselves. 82 apiece. So he's going to put Collier in there as opposed to Holland. I don't know if that's a late adjustment. Or if that was the original plan. Rivera inbounds it. Huertas from the right. And we're going to have overtime. Free basketball. 82-82, we're going to overtime. Well, Clavel leading all scorers with 21 points. Brasino and Redivo each with 16 for Argentina. I thought Huertas might try to go baseline, note, but he was going to go and then he stopped and tried to pop. But missed the shot.
He goes through. Got it? He going simple too. Hey, 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Vamos. Hey, 5 minutes.
I mean, I don't know if they thought they wanted to use Clavel as a decoy, but he was kind of the player with the hot hand.
Vamos, mano. Intensity. Intensity, man. Go. Be ready.
Huertas has much more experience, so that's probably why they went with him.
No queremos 3 puntos. Y tantas veces podamos, otra vez arriba. Ellos tienen problemas para eso. Pero no con la idea de robar. La idea es que no puedan jugar.
How often do you see a team make a great comeback to force overtime but then lose in overtime? It happens. This would be a deflating defeat for Puerto Rico, that's for sure. If they can't come back and win this in overtime. If they win in overtime and play well in overtime, that can be a positive. Obviously, from a confidence standpoint. So Gonzalez starts, gets it to Huertas. Clavel has it, puts it up from 3. Aguirre rebounds it, bounce pass, and Clavel commits to foul on D'Elia. So Aguirre, he misses the first. Tonight, Marcos D'Elia misses the first. Makes 1 of 2. So he's now 2 of 4 at the line. Clavel gets it in bounds to Gonzalez. Clavel then pushes it over to Huertas. Bounce pass beautifully to Clemente. And now D'Elia is called for a foul on Clemente. So Clemente goes to the stripe and makes the first one. He had 9 points before that, and he had made 1 of 2 at the line. So both makes, puts his team back in front. Casino under pressure, and Collier gets it. Bounce pass. Gonzalez tried to give it back to him. Oh, missed opportunity for Puerto Rico. Leah trying to make the handoff, but Puerto Rico's quick hands not allowing it. They do force the turnover. Now Brasino reaching in to try to get the steal. Huertas floats in. Good job by D'Elia knocking it off the rim. Don't forget Cafaro had to hit those 2 free throws to tie the game. And here he is going in for the go-ahead bucket. Talk about X factors. He's the X factor perhaps for this Argentina team, the way he's been able to come in late and make some plays. Redivo out to Aguirre. Gonzalez hands it off. Huertas, shot clock about to expire. He's going to have to launch it. He does, and misses everything. Argentina with a chance, a second chance to add to their lead. See, Huertas obviously frustrated, not just with his miss, but thinking, I think that Gonzalez hadn't run into the right position. Not sure you should show your teammate up, though, with that type of disagreement in front of everybody. Redivo misses badly. Well, Rivera goes down hoping to get a foul, and then Cafaro says, call it technical for the dive. Clemente. Puerto Rico suddenly having problems putting the ball in the basket. I would just give it to Clavel and get out of the way. Cafaro goes down, can't hold on to it. Well, they're going to be able to score an easy one here. No, hustling down was Brasino to knock it off the rim. Unbelievable. How did Puerto Rico not get a basket? Maybe this just isn't going to be their night. It was great hustle by Argentina. Mata. Brasino. Nobody boxes out. Cafaro. And he will go to the line for 2 more. Look at this. He loses it there. Rivera has to make that. What a crazy game. Agustin Cafaro, Libertad Sonchales, just 24 years of age. First time he's played in these qualifiers. Bends the knees up. This time he misses one. Doesn't like to dribble. It's the second one to go. Back to a 2-point lead now. And Puerto Rico tried to drill a three. Clavel. They got him trapped. He's going to have to get rid of it. Holland for three. Good! So now Argentina will look for the go-ahead basket. How far will they take the clock down? Brasino. Might Puerto Rico double team them? Brasino gets in the lane, hands it off to D'Elia. He's blocked. And is that it, or is there any time left? D'Elia was trying to wait. Confetti's already been coming down, and I just wonder if it's on the court, if they're going to have to get the brooms out to sweep this stuff. Oh, goodness me. Oh, just finish it, folks. Come on. This game's had everything. Well, they better get the brooms out now and start sweeping up in case they have to play. I don't know if he wants to review the time, if there's time left. Manuel Centron, the former Puerto Rico head coach, there right in front of the ref, and he's like, what's it says to Castellano, what's this guy doing? It's like, this game is over. He should really clear out and let him do his job, let him look. So D'Elia went up and the shot was blocked. And it was in the final seconds. And it was blocked by Diaz. Now what's he going to say? Well, I think we're going to have to sweep up the court so we can finish the last second. This is probably not what anybody wants, but unless it gives Argentina a little bit of time. But it's not even their ball. Okay, 2.6. So it goes up. Shot was blocked. Oh my goodness. This is going to take forever to get this stuff off the hardwood. Well, I think I've seen everything now. I don't know why they released the confetti as soon as they did. So there's 1.8 seconds there. He goes up, he's getting blocked by Diaz. 1.1 seconds. Rivera goes for it. Haven't called a foul, so I don't know why they would even stop the clock. Well, I think it's going to be Puerto Rico ball. I just don't understand what ultimately the dispute is, unless they're saying it's still Argentina ball, but I don't think so. Because Diaz blocked the shot, and then Carlos Rivera ran it down. So the rule, there's 0.7 seconds left, but the clock never stopped. Why would the clock have stopped? Unless there was a foul call that I missed. Anyway, clearly the referee says they need to sweep up the court first before they can start the game again. But gosh, this is proving to be quite a laborious task and time-consuming. It's already been about 10 minutes sweeping this confetti up, and it's still not up. So just going over what's happened in the game. Puerto Rico started slowly, didn't score their first points until 4 minutes in, but they ended up outscoring Argentina 19-14 in the first quarter. They still led at halftime. They went up in the third quarter and they were up by 14 points, but Argentina came back, and then despite being down by 10 with about a minute and a half, I think it was. They managed to strike back and force overtime, getting a couple of free throws from unheralded Cafaro, excuse me, who's playing for Argentina in these qualifiers for the first time. Agustin Cafaro. And so the game goes to overtime. Puerto Rico take the lead with some couple of Clemente free throws. Argentina are going back with a chance to win it. Brasino makes the pass to D'Elia. He goes up, the shot's blocked, and the ball ends up in the hands, gets it blocked by Diaz, ends up in the hands of Rivera. Now, I haven't seen a foul that was called, so I don't know why this shot clock, I don't know why the clock would have stopped. Meanwhile, the confetti was released because everybody thinks Puerto Rico has won the game, but the referee says he has to go look at the video replay to see if there's still some time on the clock. Is he saying that Rivera was out of bounds? That's probably what it is. He's coming from out of bounds. So Diaz gets the block there. Looked like they were going to get a chance to win it, Argentina. It was a good block by Diaz. And then Rivera, I think they're saying, okay, so now I understand. He was out of bounds, so it should be Argentina possession with 0.7 seconds remaining. But you know what? This is just a little frustrating, really. Why would the confetti be released? Why does it have to be released immediately? Just hold on to it for a couple minutes and make sure the game is over. Anyway, hopefully we can all learn from this. Here it is again. Okay, no, maybe not. I honestly thought this game was going to end about 30 minutes ago before it went to overtime. So you just never know what's in store in one of these World Cup qualifiers. Crazy things can happen. But there's a lot of people out there with brooms, and it seems like it's taken quite a long time to get this thing going again. I think Sergio Hernandez is like, well, we're okay. We can play this. We don't have to catch our flight yet. We got time. And Cassiano and Hernandez meet at midcourt, and everything is honky-dory. Okay, let's go. Let's get this thing going. There could be people watching, for example, in Europe that need to get to bed. You never know. They stayed up to watch this one. Well, who are we to complain? There's always a nice little twist in the tail. Okay, looks like we're going to actually start the game again. After a 20-minute delay. And Argentina's going to inbound it, so that was indeed the call. Rivera came from out of bounds. There's 0.7 seconds remaining. Oh, goodness me. Now we're going to call timeout. We've had all this time. Jeez. I guess they wanted to see how Argentina was going to set up. No, it's Argentina. They wanted to see how Puerto Rico were going to set up.
7 segundos da para el catch, da para tomar y tirar. Claro, vos sin foul de ataque, alevoso, alejate un poquito. Cuando él empieza la carrera, ahí van a hacer el cambio, tocar el tuyo para que salga a tirar. Lo mismo igual. Lo mismo. Marco va a cortar igual.
So they got time to catch it and shoot it. 0.7 seconds. And I think finally we're going to see the end of this, but well, what a joy this has been, the end of this game. Credit to the fans, they haven't left. 87-86. Matt is a good shooter, but it doesn't have to be a three, it could be anywhere. And now Puerto Rico want to call a timeout. Okay. So now they want to discuss the plan.
Go switch just to switch. Okay? Whatever they do, don't get fingered.
46 points in the paint. %, inside the arc. Look, shooting has ended up being pretty comparable. Manuel Citron walking around, wondering what's going to happen. Okay, I think that's going to be it. No more timeouts, guys. Let's get this thing going. And so it's going to be Aguirre who's going to inbound it. They're going to try to catch it and shoot it. Oh, they get it, and oh, he took the shot, Redivo. And he's upset. It appears that a foul wasn't called. So finally, Puerto Rico have been declared the winners, 87-86. Almost looked like Redivo slipped on a piece of confetti. This will henceforth be known as the confetti game. Okay, it's okay to drop it now. Gosh. I'm surprised they had some left. There was so much confetti on the floor the first time. Puerto Rico know their big game is coming up to get to the World Cup. They're going to have to beat Uruguay. What they don't know is, will they have to beat them by 3 points or just beat them? That depends on whether or not Uruguay win tonight. And they play Mexico. And that game tips off at 2:30 Central European time. Ah, that's no foul, Redivo. That was a good attempt, but that was no foul. Just when you thought you'd seen everything in basketball, you haven't. You get something like that that happens. 87-86 in the confetti game. So those are the final numbers. And pretty even all the way around. Four blocks for Puerto Rico. The game leaders. Clavel with 21 points. Persino with 16. But those guys were terrific. Interesting that Persino also had 2 steals, but he had 7 turnovers. Holland had 3 steals. Gonzalez had 5 turnovers. And Persino and Redivo finished 16 points apiece.